crafty friends, this is Pam, Pam's Paper Place, and this is part 2 of making the soft cover journal. The second thing that we'll do is I just made a template for sewing in the signatures, and this was 11 inches across. I didn't have paper that big, so I'm just gonna center it, you know, on each side a little bit here. I folded it in half to get my center, and then I cut it to 8 inches this way because that's how long it is. I just lined it up and, you know, just left about the same amount on each side here. And then I took my ruler and the middle here, I measured a 1/2 inch this way and a 1/2 inch that way. And then I drew a line there, drew a line there, and then this is 8 inches, so I found my middle, marked it there in the center, and I thought I'd do 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom, so I marked that. And so I'm going to have 2 signatures, which I've made up here. I can show you those 2 in a minute while I've chosen the papers. And then I just marked here and here because that was a 1/2 inch from the center. Then I laid this here, and then you can, you know, clamp it, you know, make sure it doesn't move. Then I poked through my 2 holes there, my 2 holes here that we made the template for, and my 2 holes here, because we'll sew in 1 signature here and we'll sew 1 signature there. And then you can kind of see the poke holes through there with this. And I also put just a little dot of glue, or you could do Fabri-Tac there, just so it won't move too much, the pocket, when we're sewing them in. There's a lot of videos out there on how to sew in signatures. I think I've done 1 or 2, or at least 1, how I do it. I'll see if I'll do that or not on camera. But let me show you the signatures. I have 2 papers I've chosen, about 15 to 20 papers. It's kind of similar. Just various, you know, bird book. We have some digi-papers, and then on the other side of the digi-papers, I also printed different prints here. This is on a thicker vellum, this paper here. Just to give you an idea of the papers I've chosen, it's a, you know, kind of a plant paper, a little stationery. More digital, so fibrous paper here. This is a thicker digital, so I like to have some thicker for pockets or things that need a stronger hold. So you just want various papers, little stationery, little book pages. This will be a pocket. This was a cutoff. And then in the middle, I'm going to use a smaller manila envelope. This one is, oops, it's about 9 by 6, or you could do an envelope. And then this was a cutoff. I'm just going to put that here for a flip here. So that is going to be the first signature. The second signature, chosen, this is some scrapbook paper, and then we have coffee dyed paper, digital bird book. This is a fibrous handmade grass paper, Edith Holden. Some more handmade paper. This is a coloring book with some mushrooms and flowers. This is from the digital. Another digital on some dyed paper, a thicker paper, some coffee dyed, a little animal book. And then we'll be doing something on the plain papers, stamping or stenciling. This is part of a poem that I'm going to do, and I'm going to tear around here to make a pocket. And then this one I have an envelope, and then it goes the same way on that side. So sometimes I'll sew in and then I'll stamp, but it might be easier to stamp now, so to get a better impression. So what I'll probably do is on these papers I'll do some stenciling. I'll do one, and then you can go through your own papers because I don't know exactly what you'll have. So I know I want to do a little stenciling there. I'll probably do some stenciling here. So I'll just do this one. I've done stenciling before, but I'm going to get a stencil and show you what I mean. Okay, I just picked a stencil here that I have of these flowers. I thought that'd be pretty. And I used something kind of foamy underneath. This is an old mouse pad, or you can use like kids. Also use this foamy kids paper. Maybe I'll just use that here, and then I'll put it behind, and it'll give a nice, well, for stamping. Actually, that's a nice tip for stamping, but we're not stamping. We're stenciling. Never mind. But yeah, when you stamp, well, there you go. You got a bonus tip. So I do like to put like a plastic, something plastic here so ink doesn't get everywhere. So we'll just take this, set it aside, and we will ink stencil here. Let's see, I think, yeah, we'll just go like this. Excuse me. And I've chosen Old Olive. Stampin' Up, Garden Green, and Close to Cocoa. Yeah, I may grab a different color too for the flowers. Might be pretty. I still have a hard time opening these things. So we'll just get our little dabbers. These are makeup things. You could use, these are makeup things too, or just little foamy things there. Let's see. I've done the same one before, but I kind of want to use this one. So I'm going to go down the center with the brown. And then use some greens. And you could put this down with masking tape to hold it, or washi tape. Well, which I should have done, because look what I just did there. Let's just add a little. Let's see what we got. That looks good. Okay, and then I'll just go on the other side, because this will need to be inked too. Oops, I don't know which one I have now. Okay, let's do this one. There we go. So we have that, and then we can put the rest of our book back together. Let me put this away, and then that will go back in there. I'll ink up some more pages. I think later, I think I can do it Well, I'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll ink up the rest of the pages that are white, and then I'll sew them all in the signatures. Okay, so I just inked, stenciled a few pages that were whitish. Here's, I don't know why I start with the back signature. Going forwards, well, you do it how you want, but I'm going to start with the back and go to the front. So here's my back signature, and then I take, use what you want, wax thread, wax linen thread. I use embroidery thread. And I keep the three threads together. I don't, pull them apart. And then I like to take the end. And also the thread is 3 lengths of your signature. And then I'll just put that there. Now I need to get my template and use it to poke my holes. So you want it kind of even. Now clamp it down. Just kind of clamp it down. Oops. Nope. I did this step soon. Gosh, I'm messing up today. All right, anyway, let's start to poke our holes. So here's our template, and we're going to now just poke in the middle. This one, and this one. Not here. Those are the ones that we poked the holes for the cover. Now we're just going to go in the center. And you can use an open book to poke your holes like that. So the center of this one, the center of this one, and the last one right here, and the center of that one. Now I hope everything stayed together. And have your papers how you want them to be. Make sure they're right side up. Oops. Okay, now we are going to sew. I'll just do the one signature, and then you can, get an idea, and then you can do the next one. So I'm going to start out with the back signature first. Okay, I sewed in the signatures. I'm telling you what, it is not easy, because even when using a template, it's hard to see, because your markings aren't as clear with fabric. But I do have them all in. I inked on the plain when there was white pages, some white pages here. Did a little stenciling. And how I did this was I made a template. I didn't have 13-inch wide, which our book is, so I just did 12, and then I centered it in the middle here, top 8 inches, folded it in half. And then I did a 1/2 inch on both sides here, the middle. Marked that with a hole. Inch here, and this is 4 inches, which is the middle. And then with each signature, I went down this middle one, poked holes for both signatures. And then for the fabric, I poked holes here, here, and here, which was hard to see when you come on the outside, because you can't really see it very well. So just do your best. It did work out, but not the easiest. Did come together quite nicely, and then we'll embellish, but I'll show you, what we have so far. Oh, here's that pocket there. I did some stenciling. I added different digikits, and this is a vellum, a thicker vellum from a digi, handmade papers, stationery. There's a stencil, digi papers. This is a handmade paper, grass type paper. Another digi, a bird book, coffee dyed papers. So just put your variety of papers in here. This is going to be a pocket, so I did a little stenciling there. And then I added a envelope, and this is going to go on this side here. Let me just paper clip that in there so I'll remember. And then you have it on the other side. Just about 15 to 20 papers per signature is what I have. Now I could come back and stencil that or stamp that too, which I just might do. And then the fun part, I like it all, but I do like to embellish. I will be embellishing. There's the first, here's the second. Handmade paper, a little Edith Holden, some handmade paper, a coloring book with some mushrooms. And then we have digital kits. This was dyed paper that I printed a digi on. It's another digi on thick. So you want a variety. And have some thicker paper too. Did a little stenciling there. I overlapped the stencils. Scrapbook paper, digikit. Here's some cute owls from a bird book. More, this is a thicker vellum that I printed on, coffee dyed. And this is going to be here. I guess I didn't need to do that because I'm going to add this here to that page unless I move it to a different page, which I could do. Did that stenciling, and here's the envelope in the middle. So just a variety of papers, whatever you have. I have a little fairy, I have a little garden, a little bit of animal papers. There's a little fairy, some dyed papers, coffee dyed, coloring book. If you have handmade paper, this is a nice texture to it. And then we have a little golden, Edith Holden, like a handmade grass type paper. Bird book, another digi, some coffee dyed, and that's the end of that signature. We have our pockets here. So, I hope you have good luck with that. It's not the easiest to sew in. And then I'm going to put a doily over here too, because the stitching isn't perfect like I'd want it. I mean, it looks fine inside, but it's a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. I think it's going to be really fun and turn out really pretty. So that is part 2, and then we'll start embellishing. I'm not going to embellish the whole thing, but I'll just show you some that I think you might find interest. All right, take care. Bye-bye.